Got it. So I hope it's audible now.
Yeah, you can. You can just start over again. So I think people can hear now. I guess.
Okay, okay. Yeah, sorry guys. So I think I was muted. So uh welcome to this data analytics series. My name is Safiz Babatunde, and I'll be hosting you on this channel. I'll be your host on this channel. Here with me, I have Tunde Morakinyo. Tunde Morakinyo is a senior data analyst. He's a guru, and I'm very sure he's gonna do a justice to what we are doing here, and he's gonna guide you. He's gonna talk to you how you can become a data analyst. He can also share his own journey with us, how he got started, how he started his own data analytics journey. And is when you are a professional, when you know what you do, and you keep practicing what you do every day, you become pro in whatever you started as a beginner. So the moment you keep trying, you keep doing, you become pro in whatever you are doing. So I will just advise you, stick to this series. Every Wednesday we are here with you. We guide you, we give you answer to your question related as far as it's data analytics is concerned. I'm very sure you can also catch us on the go, like Twitter, LinkedIn. Anytime you have question, then keep practicing whatever you learn on this series, and I'm very sure that you're good. So Tunde, I hand over to you. Introduce yourself. Tell us how I can. I am. Sorry, I'm in novice here, so I want to become data analyst, and I'll keep throwing the question to you. So how I can become a data analyst, and what our audience commenting on the chat. So I will be glad to let's follow up with everyone. Let them also understand how they can become a pro data analyst, and how not only to become a pro, how they can secure a better offer if they are not in their career, I mean. So thank you for joining us, Tunde. We like to hand over to you, and before I move forward, let me just quickly share something. uh, yeah, what will be our guideline in this today's class. So I have here with me a little simple slide about what we'll be talking about today. So let me quickly share that. So for our audience, tell us where you are joining us from. If you are from Nigeria, if you are not, just tell us where you are coming from. So let me know you can hear me. So I'm very sure everyone can see my screen now. So Tunde, can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah. Very
Okay,
clear.
yeah. So in today's class, we are going to be discussing about the core data concept. At least for a data analyst, you have to be what you have to understand what data is all about. You have to understand what is data itself. So you have to understand what data is all about. Not just for you to say, oh, I want to. Yeah, Tunde, I'm with you, and let me unshare my screen for you to take over.
Microsoft SQL Server, Microsoft Power BI, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft Power Apps and Power Automate as well. So I'm going to be running us through the series, and I'm sure that at the end of the series, you will be job ready to take up a role in data analytics. So you can also join me on social media, LinkedIn at Tunde Morakinyo, and on Twitter at Tunde Morak. So without wasting much of our time, I'm quickly going to share my screen. Uh, Okay, all right. Afis, can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can.
please confirm.
I can see your screen. I
Okay,
can see
okay,
your screen.
okay, fantastic. So, definitely, we are going to be talking mostly about data, right, and how it affects our daily lives and how it also affects businesses, right? Like some people will say, they say data is the new oil. Whether data is the new oil or not, we're going to find out right
Yes,
here
I can see your
in
screen.
this series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see your screen.
Okay. I think we're having some lags, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's lagging due to probably network issues.
Yes, you can continue, Tunde. No problem with that.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. So, data, right? You must have heard about data definitely, and uh, the way I understand data is different from the way someone else actually understands what data is all about. And as a data professional, someone who has worked with data for 4 years plus, and used it to solve business problems across organizations, I can tell you that one of the most important assets that a company can have is data. So with data, you can make informed decisions, right, that actually drives your business positively. So we're actually going to be talking about data all along, and so that we are going to clear ourselves. So data, as we have populated on my screen, data actually refers to a piece of information, usually formatted and stored in a way that is concordant with a specific purpose, right? We can have data in any form. And as a matter of fact, I'm so sure that everyone on the call actually has a mobile phone. And with that mobile phone, we have a lot of information, and we can refer to those information also as data, right? We have something like our phone book, where we store, people's information, phone numbers, locations. We can actually, still go ahead and include their pictures and all of that. Those are called information or data. And data can actually exist in various forms. You can have it as numbers or text recorded on paper, maybe. And you can also have it as bits or bytes stored in electronic memories. You can also have it as facts living in a person's mind. You quite agree with me that while we were growing up, we have, some kind of stuffs that is being stored, that has lived in our minds for a very long time, and we can still remember up to this moment.
Yeah,
I don't know
sure,
if you
sure,
and I
sure.
are such.
Yeah,
So
sure,
sure.
sure. Most of
So
the
sure
time,
you
yeah.
you also have
That kind of
have
memory.
that as well. So
Yeah.
that kind of memory, it's going to be a vital information for you to be able to remember up till now, right? So, like I said, data can be stored in various forms, and these are actually, a few of the ways in which data can be stored. And actually, since the advent of computer science in the mid 1900s, however, data most commonly refers to as information, like I said earlier, uh, that is transmitted or stored electronically. So since then, they've been storing data electronically. That's why you have so many softwares today that you can use to store your information. And mobile phones are actually not left behind. This is just, a little explanation that I give you about data. We can go on and on and on. So, very quickly, without wasting our time, we are going to look at, data formats, how data are formatted, and the specific data types that we have, because all of these are very important. If you are going to be becoming a pro, definitely all these basics are extremely important, because it's going to help us
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. That's fine. But Tunde, if I got you right, what you mean, like, okay, data can be referred to piece of information, usually formatted, stored in a way, like, you know, some people, in our environment today, some kind of people, you kind of talking about data, they don't seem to understand what data is all about. For instance, now, if I approach someone from my comment section now, like, oh, what's your name, what's your uh age, and where are you coming from? So that kind of information, are you telling me that that's a simple kind of sample of data I'm collecting from that person?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
Okay.
As long as that information is important to you and it actually describes an individual, so it is called data. So if I say Afiz, okay, what year were you born? So if you tell me, okay, you were born in the year 1900, which I'm sure you were not, that's actually,
Yeah.
information. I've gotten some kind of information from you. I may actually have it in my mind, like I explained earlier, right? If I don't have much, in my mind, I can have it stored somewhere and I can have it written down somewhere. So I'm keeping a record. I'm keeping an information about someone. So that is definitely data that can be useful probably now or in the nearest future.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got a comment from my audience saying that your audio is a bit low, so maybe you can increase the tempo.
Okay.
All right.
Let me I'll actually try to mute my mic. Let me just
Okay. Okay.
so, but you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
I'll try to like increase my volume. Apologies.
All right. All right.
Okay. So, can we move forward now?
Yeah, sure. So I can say categorically now that, oh, people who are watching this can actually define what data is all about now, right? So yeah, I can tell anyone that, oh, data is like any information which can be of either number, description of something, or let me say, yeah, yeah, or any valuable information, right? You understand? So either observation, number, or description about something. So that's information which turn to be a data about that particular thing, right? So yeah, that's cool. I told you guys, today we give you important info that you need to understand about data. So, and at least now, if you come across anybody outside tomorrow, moving on the street and talking about data, you all know what it's all about. So, thanks for that. So, let's move forward and then let's see what next. Okay, Tunde, we are with you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, like I said, we are going to be moving to different data formats that we have because that is going to form some kind of important stops for us by the time we get to the technical parts of the series. So, we're going to be talking about data formats. Okay. Okay. All right. So, like I have populated on my screen, the data format can be of various forms, right? It could be called data types and formats, right? And it's actually the way you organize your information according to present specifications. You can see the list I have on my screen. Actually, the most common ones, right? And we're going to be talking about text, data type, which means some kind of variable characters, So, for instance, you are writing in words, I mean in letters, right? Those can be called text, and sometimes they can be referred to as strings, right? Depending on the programming language you're using, right? So, if you're using Python, you're using SQL and all of that, you call them text or you call them strings. So, if I'm writing my name Tunde, for instance, that's some kind of variable character, right? So, it's a text data type. If I'm writing Lagos, rice, anything that has to do with letters are actually called text or string. So the second one we're going to be looking at is the numericals. Definitely, I'm sure we are all familiar with numbers, right? And anything you write that that its number is, of course, a numerical data type or a data format. If you write a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 1,000 or 10,000, those are numerical data types. So another form of data type that we actually have, which is numerical, is the ones that are having decimals. Apologies, I didn't include that on the slide, right? We can have 1.2, 10.5. Those are called decimals or floats, as the case may be. So that's some kind of numerical data type as well. So we are going to be talking about date as well, which is definitely date is very important, of course. So and it's of different formats. You can have it in a format of day, month, year, and you can also have it in year. So another one is the time we have on the screen. The time right now is actually 9:25, right? And as I have on the screen, we can see 9:45, 30. What is just from minutes and seconds. So 9 is the ninth hour, the 45th minute, and the 30th second. Like very important. And we also have timestamp. Right? We have timestamp. Actually, split it to whatever you want. Have dates differently and also have time differently. So these are extremely important and most common data types that we have. And the last one I'm going to be talking about, which actually is not common, is as far as analysis is concerned, actually is multimedia, right? So I'm so sure that on our mobile phone, we all have like some JPEGs, some PNGs, and some GIFs that we've stored somewhere, right? These are
Yeah.
also data types
Yeah.
that we can actually leverage in course of analysis. So I'm going to put a stop to it here for data format and types. And before we go into the next one, I don't know if please has anything to say before we move into data structure.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit, a bit different look to me because data type now, you've mentioned test. Yeah, we're all familiar with test. Putting something down in test format. Everybody know that. Oh, we know how to put figures like 1, 2, 3, especially when it comes to amount, so everybody know how to put that on. Then date is very complicated in some cases. We are using like maybe from our own environment. Maybe we can do day before month, then we have year. But in some region, in some other part of of the world, they use month, day, and year. In some cases, so it always cause different. So while working with date, you have to be very careful. You have to know exactly what format are you using, what standard are you following. So especially when you work with organizations, so that you won't make a huge mistake and cause a lot of problem for anything you are doing. So yeah, I think that's fine. I know we also have different type of format of data like video and so on like that. So that's good, man. So Tunde, you can continue. Let's keep watching. We are enjoying you.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So we're going to move into data structures. All right. And data structure is also very important because data can actually come in different structure. And as I have populated on my screen, data can actually be classified into three form of structure. We have structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. So we're going to be looking at each and every one of these and just throw some light to each of them. The image on my screen actually differentiate what all these three are. So and you can see the first image is the structured one. So you can see it's in form of a table, right? Overlaying one another. So the second one is just, some kind of unstructured data with textual kind of data, the image files, the videos, the audios, and all of that. And the last one that I have here, you can see XML. These are semi-structured data, XML, JSON file, sensors, and all of that. So I'm going to be throwing lights on each and every one of them, starting with the structured data, right? With structured data, actually, it adheres to a kind of predefined data model and is therefore straightforward to analyze. So it's the simplest form of structure that we have, and because we have actually have it in rows and columns, right? So structured data conforms to a kind of tabular format with the relationship between the different rows and columns. And common examples that I can give you here is an Excel file. I don't know if you're all familiar with Excel or SQL databases. We know that each of these actually have structured rows and columns that can be sorted and that can also be filtered, right? Based on what we want. But for unstructured data, there are information that either does not, have a predefined data model or is not organized in a predefined manner. So unstructured information is typically text heavy, right? But may also contain such columns, such information as dates, numbers, and facts as well. So this results in some kind of irregularities and ambiguities that make it difficult to understand using traditional programs as compared to data stored in the structured databases like Excel and SQL. And a common example of unstructured data includes audio, like I have populated on the screen, video files. These are very heavy files, or no SQL databases. So by the time we get to explaining the difference between SQL databases and no SQL databases, I think we are going to understand what NoSQL database is all about. So the last one is the semi-structured data. This is actually a form of structured data. If you look at the word semi-structured, so it's a form of structured data that does not conform with the formal structure of data models associated with, relational databases or other form of data tables, but nonetheless contains tags or other markers to separate, semantic elements and enforce, some hierarchies of records and fields within the data. So so the example here is just the XML data and the JSON data as well. So lastly, I'm going to talk about metadata because I think even some data are actually finding it, very difficult to understand what metadata
Metadata is all about, right?
So it is very important that we know metadata is just like, it's like information about your data, right? When you start creating the data, okay, what date was that data created, right? Who created it, right? When was it modified? All of these are information you can analyze yourself. So, and they are called metadata. That's why I call them, data about data. So if you have a file in your directory, so they are just information about your file properties, right? I'm very sure we get that now. So that's just the last part I want to discuss about before we move into the next one. Afiz, can we go? And do you have anything to say before we move on?
Yeah, I think that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, at least from here down, I can understand. I now understand better now. Okay, like, oh, we have different category of data. We have structured data, unstructured data, and then we have semi-structured data. So these three category, it works differently. Like the way we work with this category of data, they are different. When you are pulling data from a structure source, from the data source, if your data source is structured, and when it is semi-structured, and when it is not even structured at all, you have to know how to work with them. So I'm very sure when we get to the technical part, where we see how we can relate with all this data, we see how they work better. And if you have any question, if you don't understand any part here, so you can easily drop your comment. Let's see how we can explain better. So I think I'm getting it right now, and I'm becoming a data analyst. I don't know. What about you? Tell me. So I'm becoming a data analyst now. Okay, no problem now. So I've understood three things tonight. I understood what data is all about, and I got different format of data, so that anytime I'm seeing those kind of things, I will know, okay, it's a data. So, and I can understand the category of data now. So that means at least all this key stuff, I need to understand the basic aspect of this data analytics, or let me say the data itself, before I can even say I want to analyze or work with any kind of data, or building a report, or building a dashboard. Because most of the time when you see people saying data analytics, you see mostly visuals online. So you have to understand the basic aspect before you can even jump to that aspect. And that's the reason why I believe in starting from the basic aspect, whereby you understand everything from scratch. So thumbs up. So I don't know if you are enjoying this. Just let me see your comments. Let me see you saying yeah, yeah. So all right now. Okay, let's move forward, and let's see what next on the list. Yeah.
So, all right, yeah, thank you very much, Hafiz. So we're going to be going straight into data stores, or data storage, I can call it, right? There are actually, you know, ways in which you can actually store your data. There are different ways, of course. You can store it in a flat files, right? And you can also definitely store it in databases. So there are a lot of things that actually differentiate, all our flat files from databases, right? So as you can see on my screen, I have actually different ways in which you can actually store your data. The first one is the file storage. So
Wow.
if you want to store it as a file, so you can store it as JSON file, you can store it as XML, and you can also store it as text or CSV delimiter files. So we are going to be talking much more about all of this by the time we get to the technical aspects. But right now we're going to be focusing mostly on the databases, which is the next, that word before somewhere, database. What is a database itself? What does it entail, right? Data information that can be easily accessed or managed, right? We all have mobile phones. We all have people's records, phone contacts, and all of that. We saved them somewhere. All your collected information, and you can easily access them anytime you need them. I'm sure we get that. So
Yeah, sure. So you say
collection of data or information that can be easily accessed or managed is called a database. Database could be a paper where you store your information. I'm so sure that I don't know if any one of us has used what do we call this? Is it a diary? Yes,
diary.
diary is
Yeah,
what I'm
sure.
looking for. Yeah, in the past, they used to use diaries to store a lot of stuffs, a lot of information that is actually important to you, so you can
Yeah,
go back and reference them, right?
yeah,
So
especially when people trying to keep their to-do list, right? You know, it's
exactly. So your diary can also serve as your database. That is obsolete anyway, so it has nothing to do with technology or anything,
yeah,
electronics.
yeah,
So we are now going to be talking more about the different kind of databases that we have. I made mention of SQL or no SQL database prior now. So we're going to be talking about these two: relational databases and no relational databases, and how we can actually distinguish these two. So relational databases can also be called SQL databases. SQL is an acronym for structured query language, and are definitely stored in rows and columns, just as
no,
we have in our Excel, in our Google Sheets, and all of that. If you look at the table that I have on my screen, you see the first image on the left actually shows some information in a table, in form of a table. And we have rows and columns with the column headers like emp ID, last name, first name. These are headers. These are what describes the information we have in rows and in columns. And you can see we have different rows, row 1 to 5 right there. So SQL databases actually store information in this format. This is what they call a structured format, right? If you look at on the right actually show the how different table in our databases actually connect. They call them schema, and the cardinality, the flow of connections. So we can have different kind of tables, right? We can have like 2, 3, 4 tables depending on how our data warehouse or our data mart is structured. So we now need to link all of these tables together in order to write our joins in SQL. Definitely, we are going to get to that by the time we get to the technical aspects of the course. So primarily, relational databases or SQL databases actually store information in rows and columns as a table, right? Why no SQL databases? They they can also be called not only SQL or non-tabular databases.
yeah,
Non-tabular databases in this sense that, okay, they are not stored in form of a table,
yeah, yeah.
right? So no SQL databases actually come in a variety of types based on their data model, definitely. And the main type are actually, documents. We have something like key value. We have, wide column. We also have graph. So, but the most common ones is the code document. So, and these actually provide, flexible schemas and scale easily with large amounts of data and high user loads, right? So SQL databases can be stored in this format that I have on my screen. And as you can see, instead of us to have it in form of rows and columns, we now have it in curly brackets like a JSON file. You can see the first one is ID in W quotes, then hyphen, then that information that will be there. And we have the first name as well, Jane, last name, WU Wu, it's Jane Wu. All right. And the address as well, the street, the city, the state, the zip, and the hobbies. So these are ways in which information or data are stored in no SQL data basis. So without wasting much of our time, I'm going to run us very quickly through different data rules that we have. Uh, you know, uh, we must have heard about data analysts. We also have people called, business analysts. We also have people called, data engineers. We have data scientists. We have database administrator. We even have, machine learning engineers, analytics engineers, and all of that. So the ones we have on my screen, so I'm going to be doing justice to them, starting from, the function or responsibility of each and every one of them. So let me just speak it from, a business analyst, so while we actually have similarities between a data analyst and a business analyst, the key differentiator between these two is actually the role they play with data,
Eh?
or what they use
No.
data for.
Oku,
Right?
50
A
minutes.
business analyst
have like
definitely actually is closer to the
we
business
have like
itself,
12
right?
minutes.
And is a specialist on interpreting the data that comes from the visualization. So often, the job
When I see
of a data analyst
Hi, Tunde. Hello. It's like I don't know. It's lagging, so probably is that a network?
sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Can
you
you
now.
hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I think that was from my end.
Okay.
Apologies. I just needed to, change my internet connection.
Okay.
So, like I was saying, I said what actually differentiates, a business analyst from a data analyst is what they do with data, right? I said a business analyst tends to be closer to the business and is a specialist on interpreting the data that comes from, the visualization or a dashboard, as the case may be. And I said often the data analyst and a business analyst could be the accountability of a single person. So yeah, as a data analyst, I could also be a business analyst. As a matter of fact, I'm a business intelligence analyst, which means I'm the combination of a data analyst and a business analyst. I analyze the data, I interpret the data, right? That makes me a data analyst and also a business analyst, which is a business intelligence analyst, as the case may be.
Yeah.
Why the function of a data analyst is actually to, profile the data, clean, transform, or design building a scalable and performant data models, right? And enabling and implementing the advanced analysis capabilities into reports for analysis. So data analysts work with data engineers to determine and locate appropriate data sources and also identify new processes or improve existing, processes. So you find data analysts actually writing a lot of queries, either with DAX or with SQL, or writing some programming languages with, pandas libraries in Python to actually come up with some kind of, solution for a for a problem from the data that you have. No, why the data engineer, actually the primary responsibilities of data engineers actually include the use of, some on-premise and cloud data services and tools to ingest, egress, and transform data from multiple sources. When I say ingress means to actually, load data, from different data sources into, some kind of a platform, then clean the data, transform the data, right, for, data analysts or data scientists or business analysts to use for their analysis. So the provision and actually set up data platform technologies that are on-prem, all right, and in the cloud, and they also manage and secure the flow of structured and unstructured data from multiple sources. So you can have data from different sources. You can have data coming from, online platforms like Facebook, like Amazon, and all of those things. I can also have data coming from flat files, maybe CSV or Excel, and you can also have data coming from databases, maybe NoSQL databases like MongoDB. So the job of a data engineer is just to bring all of this data together, right? As long as the data belongs to maybe an organization and they actually, generate those data in different manner, like I just said. It could be coming from, online sources like, Facebook and all of those things, SQL databases, NoSQL databases. The job
Yeah.
of a data engineer is just to bring all of this together, clean them, transform them, right? And make them
Into
available for
yeah.
data analysts
Yeah.
and data scientists to perform either their analysis or their modeling, as the case may be. So for data scientists, right? Data scientists actually perform advanced analytics to extract value from data. So their work actually vary from descriptive analytics to predictive analytics. And descriptive analytics actually evaluates data through a process known as exploratory data analysis, EDA. They explore the data with EDA, and predictive analytics are actually used in machine learning to apply modeling techniques that can detect anomalies and patterns in our data. So all of these patterns and anomalies can actually be important for as part
Decision.
of forecast
Yeah, yeah,
models,
yeah. For
right?
decision,
So
especially for the
that's what we do.
decision maker, right?
Yeah. So that's what we actually exactly that's what we do our forecasts and all of that. So while the last one is the database administrator, a database administrator actually implements or manage the operational aspect of cloud native or hybrid data platform solutions built on maybe some kind of data services like Microsoft SQL Server. We have Google BigQuery and all of those things. So they are responsible for the overall availability and consistent performance and optimization of the database solution. So they ensure that anytime you actually run a query within your database, it actually responds properly. It runs properly. There are some times that you run a query and it takes, a lot of seconds, like let's say 5 seconds. That is actually too much. Running a query shouldn't be, it should be less than a second. If you have like maybe 50, 100 milliseconds and all of that. So they will ensure that, the query that you run will be as fast, as possible. So that is just it about the roles in data. It is now left to you to pick one of these.
So
Definitely.
at least
Yeah,
if you want to be
either one is fine.
analyst, yeah.
If you want to be everything, well, it is allowed. Of course, it's gradual, definitely.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're
sure.
going to be fine. So we're going to be moving into very quickly data analytics services, right?
Yeah.
So like I have it on my screen. So the we have different data analytics services. So I'm going to be talking about SQL and data warehousing, right? So SQL and data warehousing actually goes hand in hand, and it can be of two forms. It can be on-prem. On-prem means local, right? Local server that is not
Yeah.
stored in the cloud. Definitely, that's what it means. We can have, vendors, SQL vendors like Postgres SQL, MySQL cloud. Definitely, we can have Amazon Excel, very powerful. I love these two. Google Sheet as well. I use the two actually interchangeably. So they've been very good to data visualization, we can have a Power BI, we can have Tableau, uh, we can have Looker, and other Looker and other data visualization tools that we have out there. And the last one is going to be the programming language, which is either Python or R. So these are few data analytics services that we have. All right. And Afiz, I think that will be all for today.
We are running out of
I'm
time.
open for I'm open for question.
I think everybody have enjoyed what you've said so far. I don't know. I would just like our guys to comment hear from them if you have any question, if you have anything to say. So based on the career part, especially when it comes to the roles. So if you want to be a data analyst, data engineer, database administrator, data scientist, or even business analyst, you've seen the difference now. Someone has been able to explain to you. You've seen a mentor. You've seen someone who can run to like, bro, or my mentor, what can you say about this? Which one should I go for? This my capacity. This is what I can do. So I can be the person that has an analytical mindset, and I can analyze. I can be a scientist, or if you want to be, and let me say, in terms of management, or let me say, in terms of architecture, so you can try to be a database administrator, or you do the kind of the architecture of the database and so on like that. It's fine. So you can do anyone. You can pick any role that you choose. You like. So especially when it comes to even business analysts, it's just for you to be able to understand the data and be able to communicate it to make decision as a business analyst. So you don't really do much as a business analyst. You don't need to understand any tool. Just for you to be able to see a report and be able to analyze it in your own way. So someone said, first time I finally understood no SQL always confused me. Thanks for breaking it down into basics. So that's a good feedback. So, and I think that's from Adeyinka Kayode. That's nice. Thank you for saying that. And also, can I use SQL query to query a no SQL database?
No, no, that's definitely not possible.
Okay.
So they are called structured query language for a reason. So you can only use it to query data that are stored in a tabular format.
Okay, in
So
a relational database, right?
Yeah, a relational database.
Okay,
Exactly.
yes, okay, that's fine. So someone is asking, Wakilu is asking, please, I would like you to walk us through real project on data analysis with Excel. Don't worry about that. So, we can't just jump into Excel or any tool right now without having the basic understanding of what you are talking about. So if I just come online, we just come on YouTube telling you guys, oh, you can use Excel to do this without understanding the basic aspect of what you are doing. It's gonna look strange. It's gonna look like we are speaking Japanese to those who don't understand it. So it's fine. So we just stick to this channel. Anytime we are live, just try to join on time. I'm very sure we are good. So thanks, and happy data analytics. We see you next week by God grace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's 1 minute left. Any other question? So someone is trying to ask difference between DAS and Tableau. Tableau is a software, while DAS is a function we use in data in what is it called, in Power BI. Yeah, DAS is data analysis expression. It's just like a function that you use in Excel. So you can always
Yeah,
say,
exactly.
if you ask a question like,
Exactly. It's a query language,
yeah, it's a
right?
query language. So
Is a functional. Is actually a functional programming language, right? That you can use to query your Power BI or Excel Power Pivots and all of that. So it is a little similar to SQL, but
okay, someone is Yilade is asking, sir, what is the job prospect of data and business analyst? you know. So
I'm sure you can go ahead with that, Hafiz.
so job prospect, if you look, especially if you go online today, there's a lot of, offer as a data analyst or being a business analyst. Being a business analyst, any company you want to work with, they believe that you understood data itself before you can be a business analyst, because most companies work with data to make decision. So you have to understand data itself, because and then if the prospect of your job is, let me say, the demand for business analysts and data analysts today, even the all the roles that you see on the screen today, like the 5 roles that we have in data, is hot cake out there. As far as you are very good and you know how to perform magic, you can do your miracle with all these tools that we will be using in this series, or even if you decide to go for another tool, just make sure you understand, you become expert in it, and then you're good. So thank you, Tunde. Thanks for staying up to this time, for watching us. So don't forget to subscribe, follow us, and then we are good to go. We see you next week by God grace. So thank
Yeah.
you, bye, and happy data analytics.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Bye. Thanks,
Yeah,
Hafiz, for having me.
bye.